So hello and welcome back to another video, and today we are here playing TrackDayR. Now, I have played this game in the past, but not played it for like a couple of years, and to be honest, I like to just come on it every so often, see how it's progressed, and see how things have changed. So just to actually introduce the game, if you don't know, I'm guessing based on the title of the thumbnail, you guys will have a pretty decent idea of what the game is like, but effectively it is like a GP Bikes competitor is what it is. So it's a bike sim, very much in the same vein as GP Bikes, but made by obviously a different set of developers. So today we're just going to be hopping into it once again and just checking things out. Now, it has evolved a little bit over the years. I think since the last time I played it, it's gone much more MX focused, so it's kind of a, I guess, a Mimoso competitor, you could call it, because it's sort of got the GP bikes and MX bikes covered. But today I think we'll just stick to the Grand Prix stuff because, well, we've seen what happens when I go to dirt. Whoa, what a bit quick over that jump! Oh, and that was... I did a full flip! The thing I immediately noticed with this game is that the menu has changed completely since I last played it, and there's also no longer music blaring at like 200 volume in the background, because that was a problem last time I played it. That's something I remember. But either way, we'll head straight into time attack with no space, and we will select a circuit. So it does seem like there is quite a few different types of tracks now. Obviously, like I said, there has been a bit more of an MX push because there's some supermoto stuff, flat track trials. Drag strip, I guess, doesn't come under that. I guess that's separate. DH. Oh, downhill, I guess that is. So yeah, you can see the Supercross and MX over here. So you can see it's definitely moved more in the vein of an MX game. But you can see there are still plenty of short circuits to try. So we've got Adria Kart, which looks like a track inside of Mazzano, like a karting circuit. Then you've got Adria International, Cremona Circuit, Europa Track, Italian GP, Jeepers Kart, Lombardia Circuit, Misarnino. Again, looks like a bit of a go-karty track. Motor Arena, that looks to actually be Mazzano. Saint Denis, Shark Bay Circuit. Oh, that's Phillip Island. I can tell that one. What's this one? I was trying to see if it was Le Mans or Pour a Car, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like it probably is either a fictional track or just actually that track. A kart circuit, TDR World Circuits. I guess it's a custom track. And Toshana GP, so that appears to be Mugello. So we have got some circuits that I do know, and I think maybe I'll go with one of those. I think last time I played it was Cremona, was basically the only track in the game, so I'll stick away from that, and I think I'll probably go with... You know what? I'll give it a fair comparison. We'll go to Shark Bay Circuit, because this is the default GP Bikes track. So if we're going to be comparing this game to GP Bikes, we've got to go with Victoria, as it's called in that game. And in terms of bikes, what have we got? So we've got the B1000R, definitely not a BMW there. Bicycle? I've just seen bicycle. I guess that's what the downhill stuff is. I just thought it was that category. So if we go over to road, because that's the category we're interested in. So we've got totally not a MotoGP bike. We've got the BMW. We've got, looks like a V2 Panigale, old Fireblade. Is that an R1? Yeah, that looks to be a Triumph 765 there. Then R6, RG 500, Yamaha 300. Looks like a King of the Baggers bike. And what is that at the end? The B Proto. What? What is the B Proto? Experimental. This type of vehicle must be considered experimental. Okay. What is this? What is this? How is this like in with the super bikes? What? I mean, I'm kind of tempted to go out and give it a go, but I feel like it's a little... Oh, we're not allowed to do it. We're not allowed to play it on Victoria, so I guess that goes out the window now. But that was something interesting. It took a while to load as well, which was a little bit strange. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go with the R1. That was the R6 there, wasn't it? I know they're not technically called that in the game, but you can tell what they are supposed to be. So we'll go with the R6 then, because again, then similar sort of capacity to the base bike in GP Bikes, which is obviously the M2, which is obviously the 600 Honda, because it's the old Moto2. So without any further ado, we've spent enough time in the menus, I think, for now. So let's head down to the track. So here we are then, down on the track, and that is awfully loud. I may need to turn this down a little bit. Yeah, that is much better. Okay, it's now not absolutely deafening me. Oh, I've accidentally gone into camera mode. That's how do I get out of camera mode? Didn't want to do that. So it's a good start. I've managed to accidentally enter the camera mode. And here we go. First thing I noticed really straight away is the fact that we are in a sort of MX jersey. Okay. I definitely don't have my control set up. Let me just set those up, because that'll give it at least some fair comparison. However, I have just done one corner, and it's not looking promising, based on the physics there, I do not think. Okay, so we're back onto the circuit now then. I've set up my controls, and I'm not going to lie, even setting everything up, I'm not super impressed, which is really not a good sign. What are these physics? Oh, wow. That is interesting. So we can go to first person here. So we've got the two camera angles. We've got this first person camera angle, or this third person one. So as we go down the straight then, at the Shark Bay circuit, we'll forget the fact it just stuttered over the line as well. So we'll go to turn one. What is this? Okay, I've gone massively off the circuit. Invalid lap, shock. We've gone literally to Albert Park virtually at this corner. And, okay, there we go. It took me that long to actually crash. So one thing about this game is that this actually had bike recovery like a long time before the GP games even had them. So I think this game came out in 21. It was like March 2021, something like that. And then the GP game came out a couple of months later and had that had the bike recovery. And I remember people were a bit like, oh, it's a bit like TDR. And how do you actually bump? Oh, do you not have to bump anymore? That was like the best bit about the game. You had to get back on the bike and bump it. I've just pressed one button, the engine started again. What is happening here? Why am I... It's a very good job that my guy has got MX stuff on, because we're getting pretty mucky, that's for sure. Right, get back on the bike. Yeah, you literally just have to start the bike again now, so you don't have to bump site anymore. Because in the... I cannot get back on the circuit, because obviously the tyres are dirty. Right, I'll rejoin you when I've actually... You know what, I'm going to walk the bike back to the track. Well, glide it, apparently. Okay, no, he is literally moving his feet now. I may have to rethink the title for the video, because I don't want to be too critical, because I understand it's an indie game, obviously it's in Unity, but it also has been out for a few years now, so I feel like you are getting to the point where we can become a little bit more critical with it. I do think it has shifted focus as well, so that there is that. It's not a... Obviously. Okay, stop telling me that my lap's invalid. I don't need to be told like 20 times that my lap's invalid. I've gone off the track, I know this. But as I was saying, I feel like at this point we can be a little bit more critical, because it has been out many years, they've had a good chance to refine this, and it feels interesting, to say the least. And this is coming from someone that did game development at university, so I have a pretty good idea about how difficult games are to make. And in fact, I actually had a go myself at making a bike game, and it was much worse than this. It was not very good at all. May have just put a clip in there. I'm not 100% sure if I can actually find one, but if I can, I definitely want to put one in. It's yeah, wasn't great. It was my final project at uni. Just shows how difficult it is to make a simulator. I don't know what kind of auto clutch this game has, but it's not very good, because it just doesn't let the clutch out. So basically, you're virtually stalling the bike on the grass. If you give it a bit more power, probably just able to ride out the grass, but it's just not giving it enough, and then you just fall over. Which is, I don't know, I feel like maybe they've just put some massive off-track effect, because as soon as I'm on the track, it seems fine in terms of the clutch. So we hit the brakes then for Lukey Heights. The leg did come out there, but quite glitchily. Alright, stop telling me my lap's invalid. Yeah, so far, that initial lap, steering is just so floaty. There's no feeling for the bike. I've got zero vibration coming from the controller virtually. I mean, I did just feel a bit as I went over the curb there, like the rumble strip, but nothing particularly coming from the front end or the rear end of the bike as I hit the brakes or tip in for the corner, which is pretty critical. A little bit as I go down the box there, as the ghost goes around the outside of us, but literally as soon as you touch the throttle, virtually bike wheelies instantly. It really leans in a jerky way. Like, you basically go from, like, look at the amount of lead I've got now, and I just put a little bit more stick in, and I'm basically all the way down. So you can't be that precise with the lead angle, it seems. But at least we are carrying decent speed around the corners, and, okay, yep, that's... No way, no way. If we stay off on that, that is ridiculous. Okay, I've crashed at the end. Oh, that was a nasty little crash, to be fair. One thing to say about this game, actually, is that the ragdoll stuff is pretty good. When you're actually crashing the bike, the animations are quite good. When you're actually getting back on, they don't seem that good. And like I did note when I first crashed, I'm disappointed that you don't have to bump start the bike anymore. Because you used to have to properly run with a bike. You then had to press a button, basically, to sit your rider up. And then he'd put his, basically slam his bum back down on the seat, like you would if you bump started a bike in real life. And like you see with the MotoGP guys and stuff with it, when they crash, when they get back on, they try and bump start the bike to get it going, and they often struggle because of Grand Prix bikes are just harder to bump start than... I think it's to do with the compression, but I could be wrong. But they struggle to bump start them a lot more than you would do with a street bike or something production-based like this. Now, obviously, with a production-based bike, they typically have starters on. I'm sorry? Did we just witness that? I think we might need an instant replay on that. Marc Marquez could save some major things, but I don't think even he was saving that one. That was interesting, and again, it still is just putting me off so much how we're in the MX gear. We're definitely not going to be very well protected, let's put it that way. There we go, then up towards the line. What is this going to be? It's going to be just over a 2 minute, so 2 minute improvement virtually. I think we did like a 4 minute on the previous lap, so if we keep going as we are, this will be a 0-second lap time, so absolutely fantastic. And the understeer is real. Probably got it a bit too hot here. We'll try and come back to the circuits, and yeah, I mean, I can feel like the front is like folded, but then as soon as you hit the tarmac, it's like the grip just picks back up and the bike just picks itself back up. It's definitely a case of the off track is just set to slow the bike down virtually. Doesn't really seem to do a lot else. Like, this is not... Whoa! Whoa. We're having the same incident again that we had on the previous lap, except this time I sort of bailed out of it because I knew how it was going to end with the crash. So we'll go down the skate ramp. Wow, that is janky, the turning there. It's so... Like, it just all of a sudden just turns, like, so much. Like, I mean, I can't even keep it in a straight line at this low speed, like 50 kilometers an hour. Yeah, the physics model's not feeling super realistic right now, it must be said. It's so floaty. There's no feeling at all. You just tip in, like I say, it goes from virtually no lean all the way to fully lean. Tells you that the lap's invalid constantly, which is just more of an annoyance, I guess, than anything else. The bike seems to basically turn on a dime as well. Like, you have like massive understeer, and then just at a sudden point, the turning just kicks in, and you just get like a load of turning. It's hard to describe, honestly. It's one of those things where I think you do have to experience it yourself, although that's maybe not something I would particularly recommend, unfortunately. But again, we'll go for another lap here, sticking the leg out. Oh, yeah, the steering is so bizarre. I think that's how much you've got away with that invalidating my lap, because I was still on the tarmac, so yeah, I've crashed though now, and back to the grass we go. But yeah, I think I'll probably do like maybe another lap at this. Maybe I'll then hop on the MotoGP bike at a different circuit just to see what that's like. Again, they're very strange. The bike's just like horrifically understeering. We have like a massive amount of lean angle. The bike's not turning at all. And then also I pick the bike up and it just turns on a dime all of a sudden. It's so strange. It is so bizarre. Here we go, we'll go for one more lap. We'll see if we can beat this guy's 138.6 as well. If we could do that, then I think that's P2 in the world, which I think speaks for itself, doesn't it, really? Okay, I thought I was about to crash, just managed to save it. And we have been overtaken by the Ghost, unfortunately, but I do know he goes quite slow through stoners, if I remember. Which is probably for the best, because I've had a lot of accidents coming out of it, but there we go, I've overtaken him again. Yeah, the bike. I mean, I'm braking like really heavy with a lot of lean angle there. I definitely shouldn't be getting away with that. But again, there's like no feedback really from the brakes or anything. Or the bike, like you can't feel anything the bike is doing. I mean, it's just horrifically understeering. And then all of a sudden just kind of starts to turn again. It's not very realistic either. It's just so floaty. I've played a lot of bike games, so this has got to be one of the worst physics implementations, unfortunately. Been overtaken by the Ghost, though. He's gone round the outside of us through Lukey Heights. We have to send it through his last couple of corners. Oh, look at that. We've just absolutely gassed it underneath him. So I've just risked everything there. The last corner, the bane of my existence in every game. Looks like we can probably virtually go flat through it. I mean, the rear's not sliding out as I pick up the power either. I don't know if I've got traction control assist on or something like that. But towards the line, we have beaten this time, and there you go. The game's taken me out saying winner, and the frame rate has just absolutely tanked. It has absolutely just died as well, which is fantastic. Okay, so we're here now at Misano with the MotoGP Honda. Because I've actually changed to a Grand Prix rider now, so I'm not MX anymore, so that makes a lot more sense. And the bike is, wow, a lot faster than the 600, which you would expect, but it just feels so much faster. And I've managed to go to neutral, so well done me, I guess. And somehow we stayed on... No, don't let me stay on... No! Come on! Come on! You cannot stay on from that. That is ridiculous. I've gone down to neutral again. Oh, my word. Oh, You can't let someone get away with that.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Also, with first gear for solo as well, it's just revving the nuts off first gear. It really shouldn't be pulling as much as it is in first. On the brakes. Oh, okay, I've had a crash. Yeah, okay, that was somewhat realistic. The bike's gone pretty far into the gravel as well. Then totally not an LCR Honda has absolutely gone flying through the gravel. Let's remount our first. Oh, okay, no, you still get to jumpstart the GP bike. Okay. So maybe it's just because that was a production bike and it would have had a starter on it. But you did see that the rider did actually bump start it there, which is what you had to do in the previous version. So actually, I will. That's the one criticism I will sort of take back. Then I guess that was realistic previously. I mean, the rest of everything I've said is pretty true. I'll stand behind that. But okay, that particular complaint I had, fair enough. I just was trying a bike that had a starter. So yes, of course you'd use the starter instead of bump starting. That does make sense. So we go through Curvone. The most weird, deformed, stretched version of Curvone I've probably ever seen. And we have just gone full lean in the gravel. We've made it to the barrier. And good job there's no bike damage this game. That's all I can say. It seems like it bump starts first time every time now as well, which it didn't before. It didn't always work first try. Like I said, though, it has been a couple of years, so things have changed. I expected things to change, and I expected things to change for the better, frankly, and I don't think they have. I mean, it's hard to remember the physics exactly for the last time I played it, but I do feel like these are actually worse. I mean, regardless of whether I have any assists on that I'm not aware of or not, I'm pretty sure I don't. But, you know, even if I did, the bike handling shouldn't be like this at all. It's just, the bikes have no weight to them. It is strange. I mean, you've seen some of the saves I've had. I mean, look at this. Like, I'm like full lean understeering there. I should have lost the front and crashed. Like, if it's pushing that wide, it's because I've gone too fast. So I should have overstretched the front tire, really. I shouldn't just be pushing wide. Like, it's like a car. Like, you know, if you were understeering in a car, you just keep pushing wider and wider and wider because obviously you can't really lose the front in a car. You can only lock up, and if you lock up, you don't crash. You just carry on going. You just push wider. And I guess maybe that's what it is. It's like, it is like a car, but we're just visually seeing a bike, which is a thing that a lot of attempts at bike games do. That was bizarre. Yeah, it literally, I think I was like pretty much on hitting the nail on the head with that. It is like a car. You understeer massively wide, and then I guess that's why it just suddenly then brings back in. It's almost like you then unload the tyres in a certain way that they then can actually grip back up and start turning. But when you yeah, actually, that's maybe what it is. It's like I'm overturning, so I'm like turning past the point of the tyre, but I'm not crashing. I'm understeering. Then when I release the turning, it then grips back up because I'm actually back into the window of the tyre. So, yeah, this is definitely one of those games that feels like that. I feel like visually, I feel like I'm getting wheelies like half the time when I pick up the throttle, but then I'm getting no like effect by that. Bike seems to move across the breakers a little bit. Maybe that's just because I'm sort of moving the rider weight without realising it, so maybe I will take the L on that one, but we'll see if we can keep a lap together. I mean, again, I'm going like near 200 kilometers an hour in first gear. That doesn't seem right. Like, first gear is literally for pulling away virtually. That's why I'm spending so long in first gear. I mean, I use first gear more than I should in every game, but like this especially. I mean, you shouldn't get like halfway up the straight towards Tramonto out of La Quercia in first gear, even on a MotoGP bike. I've just gone to neutral. I should have crashed then as well. The rear should have completely locked up. If I can manage to do this lap without crashing, never mind. Never mind then. We've just had a crash at the fastest corner on the calendar. And to be honest, I was going to say if I can manage to do this lap, I'll try and do one that's valid. But I think, to be fair, I've played enough. I think I've subjected myself to enough so far. So I think that is where I'll end off the video. So I think overall thoughts, don't think Barbosa's got much to worry about. I think GP bikes will be the go-to bike sim for most in the for the upcoming time. I mean, thought I'd come back after a couple of years, and honestly, I'm actually surprised by the lack of progress. If anything, the game is worse now than when I played it previously. The blaring music's gone, which is nice. The menus have changed for the better, but the HUD elements are really blurry. When I was loading into this track as well, the image is really blurry. Around a lot of the buttons and stuff is quite blurry, which, yeah, isn't great. And then when you load a bike, it takes a long time to show. Like, it seems to not be very optimized. When I crossed the line to start that ghost, the game, like, stuttered a lot. When I beat that ghost as well, the game stuttered a lot. So a lot of room for improvement, I would say. I mean, like I say, it is an indie game, so I don't want to be too harsh, but it has been out for I think I said 3 years earlier, but it's getting on for 4 years now because it's 2021 and it's 2025 as I'm recording this. So really, a lot of these fundamental things you think would have been worked out by now, but it doesn't seem that way. But I think I have played enough TrackDayR for today. Maybe in a couple of years we will return to it, but yeah, I guess we'll have to see about that one in the future. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. If you're new to the channel, please do like the video and subscribe because it really does help me out. And of course, it is a win-win for both of us as you get some more bike game racing content in your subscription feed. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.